Bom dia, boa tarde, boa noite, or whatever the case may be. My name is Marcus, and I am the host of the Black Brazil Today YouTube channel, as well as the blackbraziltoday.com blog, where I analyze Brazil from the perspective of race. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about, this commotion that popped up a few days ago. I don't know, it might have been a week ago. I'm not sure. But it's a topic that I discuss this from time to time, and I think these types of stories, it just kind of speaks volumes for, Brazilian society. People can downplay it or say I'm making too big an issue out of this, but how am I making too big an issue out of this if this consistently happens? You know, Going back however long, I've been doing Black Brazil Today since about November of 2011. And even though I don't specialize and just focus on this particular issue, when it comes up, it's always the same thing. So how do you just explain that away and try to make it sound like, okay, well, I'm making an issue out of this that's not an issue, because the same thing always seems to happen. So anyway, today I'm talking about another beauty contest that went down in Brazil. And, the people took to the internet to say the same thing. What's up with this black girl winning the contest, right? So let me just go ahead and talk about the controversy in itself without skipping over the generalizations, because as I said, if you go to blackbraziltoday.com, you'll see if you go to the site and just punch in like beauty contest or Miss Brazil, you'll see that I've covered this type of topic for a number of years. And whenever there's a black woman involved, it always seems to be the same, result, whether she wins or she doesn't, or if there's a lot of black women in the contest or whatever it might be, people react the same way. So anyway, what am I talking about? Today's video is called "She Only Won Because She's Black." Milla Vieira becomes the fifth black woman to be crowned Miss São Paulo. After her victory, she was immediately attacked online. So as you know, to compete for the Miss Brazil competition, every state in Brazil has a competition. And the winner of that competition goes on to represent the state in the Miss Brazil competition. So a black girl, for the fifth time, a black girl won this competition in Sao Paulo, and she became Miss Sao Paulo 2024. She'll represent the state in the Miss Brazil competition. So let me go ahead and get into the story for today. Before I do, make sure you like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel, and click on the notification bell. And with that said, let me put this in the context and then go directly into the story. Okay, so as I've said for a number of years, Brazil has made it very clear that they reject the idea of black beauty. For Brazilians, I've said this for years, Brazil's standard of beauty and standard of almost everything in the country, the closer you are to white, either white or what they call Brazilian white, which is just to say people who they look pretty much white, but you can still look at them and say they have either some indigenous or African ancestry, but it's negligible. We'll let that pass, right? But in general, they want to see anything that has something to do with beauty or intelligence. It should be associated with someone who looks white or close to that phenotype, right? So it's almost like when I used to talk about you shouldn't define yourself as black. You're pretty, you're attractive. So the idea behind that mindset says that, well, if she is pretty, then she shouldn't be called black. And we've seen that a number of times over the years. Anybody who studied Brazil knows, or the idea that she's black but beautiful. It suggests the idea that black people cannot be attractive. So then you get a lot of black women who people will say, oh, well, you're not really negra, you're not black, you're a morena, you're a mulata. You should never call yourself black or preta or negra. Why would you do that? You're such a pretty girl. So if she's beautiful, she cannot be black. On the other hand, if she's black, she can't be beautiful. This is what Brazilian society has said for a number of years. And I'm not saying everybody, I'm just saying it seems to be the standard in Brazil. I'm not saying there's no people in Brazil who don't recognize blackness being, equal to beauty. They don't see, some people do see that. I'm just saying as a national standard, when you look at how it's measured, when you look at all the women in, the publicity and the advertisements, the beer commercials or whatever, where women are expected to be beautiful, generally they're not going to have black women represented. as I've talked about, stereotypes that go along with Black people. There are certain genres of society where Black people are expected to be. They're expected to be good at soccer. They're supposed to be good at dancing samba. Maids, cooks, cleaning women. We'll say limo drivers or whatever. These are positions that are saved for Black people. The other positions in society are thought to be reserved for whites, whether they're in the university setting or, CEOs of companies, managerial positions. Those are supposed to be reserved for white people. So even today in 2024, with the improvements, with Black women being able to find more and more of a place in the sun, there was, I think it was from 2016, 2017, two Black women in a row won the Miss Brazil competition. But overall, that means 3 Black women have won the Miss Brazil competition in 70 years. So Black women still rarely win these contests. Then there's a rising, and this has been going on for a while. We saw the election of Jair Bolsonaro some years ago. I think it was 2018 or 19. He became president. And there's been a rising rejection of what Brazilians believe to be leftist politics, the DEI politics. And whenever a Black person gets to a certain position, now they're saying, okay, well, that's an affirmative action person. That person is, she or he only got this position because of diversity, equity, and inclusion politics. That's a rising sentiment going on right now. And Brazil is being divided between left and right. It's always been there, but it just seems like in the social media era, that division is getting stronger. Then the last thing I want to look at, and this is why I want people to chime in on what they think, because my question would be, with some of the comments that I read about people judging this woman winning the Miss São Paulo crown, were they racist attacks really, or were they honestly just sharing their opinion? I'm asking this question because for years, you would just see online, Black people would be massacred. People calling them, monkeys. I've always said Brazilians' favorite way of insulting Black people or people of visible African ancestry, they call them macaco, male, or macaca in the feminine. And you just always see this. But in my own view, I've come to accept the fact that we're not always going to see certain people as being attractive, or there's going to be some people who some people find attractive, or many people find attractive, and you personally don't. This has happened with me. There's a number of people, women that I've seen over the years, and they're considered to be the standard of beauty and all of this type of stuff. And I'm just like, I don't know, she's kind of playing to me. She's nothing extremely special. And that's just my opinion. I mean, even if 90% of the people were to look at somebody and say, that person is gorgeous, that person is the epitome of beauty, if I disagree, I disagree. That's my own personal opinion. So my question would be, with what happened to this young lady, were they being racist really? Or were they just saying, I don't consider this woman attractive and she's not beautiful enough to represent Sao Paulo as the Miss Sao Paulo, Miss Sao Paulo of 2024? It's hard to say, but let's get into the story, and then I want you all to weigh in on what you think here. So anyway, this is Milla Vieira. Now, again, my opinion, I think that she's a very attractive young woman. I'm curious to know what people didn't find attractive about her. I mean, if you find Black women to be attractive, I can't see how you would not consider this woman to be attractive. Now, there is one possibility that I'm going to talk about a little bit about, but let's get into this story first. Last week, Milla Vieira was crowned the new Miss Universe Sao Paulo, becoming the 5th Black woman to win the pageant crown. Representing the city of São Bernardo do Campo, the model and presenter is now preparing for the final of the Miss Universe Brazil, which will take place on September 19th in Sao Paulo. So I had that wrong. It's not Miss Brazil. She's competing for the Miss Universe Brazil competition. In an interview with Folha de São Paulo, again, Brazil's top newspaper, Milla expressed her emotion and gratitude for the achievement. She said, "It was a great thrill because I prepared a lot and I was willing to give my best. Having the opportunity for my efforts to be seen and appreciated is very important. I took classes in everything, languages, catwalk, oratory. So when I heard my name as the winner, a movie played back in my head with all of the choices I've made so far, revealed the new Miss Sao Paulo." With her victory, Milla follows an illustrious line of Black women who have already worn the Miss Sao Paulo Universe crown. Before her, the crown was awarded to Karen Porfidio from 2017, Sabrina Paiva from 2016, Sylvia Novaes from 2009, and Joyce Aguiar in 2001. The Sao Paulo pageant, which elected its first representative in 1954, celebrated its 68th edition this year. Seems like there's a few missing there. I know that a lot of these things were put on pause because of COVID a few years ago, but it seems like this would be their 70th year. I don't know why it seems to be two missing there. But anyway, these are the former Miss Sao Paulos. As I said just a moment ago, 4 of these women have won previously. And now with Milla's victory, she becomes the 5th Black woman to be crowned Miss Sao Paulo. Competing for the crown with 31 other women, Milla stressed the importance of representation. I'm a Black woman from a humble family who created her own opportunities. I want to humanize the Miss competition to show that she is a real person. I want other women, not just those from Sao Paulo, to look at me, be inspired by my life story, and see that they too can achieve their dreams, she said. So that was just a short story talking about her victory, but shortly after her victory, the news came that she was Miss Vieira. Milla Vieira is the target of racist attacks after being elected Miss Sao Paulo. These were manifestations and demonstrations against her victory on social networks, and this is where the majority of the attacks were coming from. So Milla Vieira faces racial discrimination and racist attacks after winning Miss Sao Paulo. This is courtesy of the Portal Correio website. Now, just to give credit, let me see. I'll have to find where I got the first article from. I'll go back to that as we get towards the end of this video. Milla Vieira, a representative from São Bernardo do Campo, is facing a series of manifestations of racism after being elected Miss São Paulo 2024. The Miss Universe Brazil and Miss Universe São Paulo organizations officially issued a statement on Monday, July 29th on social media, vehemently repudiating the racist attacks directed against her. It is unacceptable that in the 21st century, there are still cases of racial discrimination as explicit as the ones Milla Vieira has been facing. The fight against racism and the promotion of racial equity must be priorities in our society, and it is essential that cases like this are rigorously combated. Milla Vieira's beauty and talent cannot be overshadowed by messages of hate and prejudice. Together, we must unite to fight all forms of racism and guarantee a fair and more inclusive world for all. Okay. So this is Milla Vieira shortly after being crowned Miss Universe Sao Paulo. The message continues when she received a barrage of just really negative comments. The promoters of the show just came out and they put out a special note to address what happened. Says, we are deeply shocked by the terrible attacks of racism that have been directed at our Miss Sao Paulo, Milla Vieira, on social media. I don't know why they would say I'm deeply shocked or they're deeply shocked by the terrible attacks of racism. This, in the social network age, this has been going on for a couple of decades now. People feel at liberty to go on and make all sorts of slanderous comments about people. So what is the deep shock about seeing this? On Black Brazil Today alone, you could just see examples of people going on Facebook, Instagram, or the comment sections of certain websites and just going off on people. So what is the deep shock about what happened with Miss Vieira? I don't see any shock. Of course, this is something I followed for years. From the moment she was elected, Milla has been the target of messages questioning her beauty and memes damaging her image. It is unacceptable that there are still racist networks that propagate this type of racial discrimination in such a cruel way. The decision of more than 20 judges who elected Milla was based on her merit, excellence, and skills, as well as her undeniable beauty. It is important to note that Miss Universe Brazil 2024 will take legal action with the support of our organization. We hope that all those responsible for spreading derogatory racist messages will be held accountable for their actions. Here's just a picture of 4 women who took place in the competition. Now, I'm just saying that when you go online and you find what the women look like in the competition, you can see why something like this happened. When I looked at the competition, I saw maybe, I don't think it was more than 6 Black women in the competition, visibly Black. And when you look at that, you can just kind of see like, well, I understand where these sentiments are coming from. Contests like these are usually represented The women represented are usually closer to the European phenotype. Now, I don't know how this woman is seen right here. She's like she could be partially Asian or something, but that's just what I'm saying. Black women are usually the minority in the contest, and even a smaller minority when it comes to who are the top two or three, coming first, second, or third place, and who are the winners. So this is something that we regularly see, just the European phenotype in beauty contest. Milla Vieira, representing São Bernardo do Campo, has faced a wave of racist attacks on social media since her election as Miss São Paulo. In a post, Milla questioned the reason for so much annoyance and hatred directed at her, stressing that the internet is not a land without laws and those responsible will be penalized. In addition to the insults on Milla's Instagram, far-right profiles published a video questioning the result of the contest and comparing a photo of the winner with the images of other candidates, all of whom were white. Milla has collected the prints, the printouts, screen prints, whatever, and intends to take the case further. I haven't had any peace. People are on my profile 24 hours a day, cursing me and defaming me, she says. Despite the attacks, Milla has received support from several people in her comment sections, showing solidarity and encouragement. Messages such as, "We are with you, count on me in this journey, and your beauty, charisma, and manner are enchanting. We are sorry that you are facing such absurd situations of racism, which have been frequent, showing that Miss São Paulo is not alone in this battle. It's essential to fight racist networks and racial discrimination in all its forms. Milla Vieira is a worthy representative of Sao Paulo and deserves respect and support in her journey as Miss. We hope that justice is done and that cases like this are not repeated in the future. Together, we can build a fairer and more equal society for all." Okay, so let's just take a look at some of the comments of what people were saying. Numerous people posted this story and asked their followers and subscribers to weigh in on what they thought. I'm not going to spend all day reading the comments because there were literally hundreds. Different people were talking about it, which would lead to a couple hundred comments, in some cases, thousands of comments. I'm not going to read all of those. I just saved a couple just to give you an idea. These are some of the original comments in Portuguese. Okay. The first comment says, "People, was this really a Miss competition?" The second one says, "Quota inclusion or merit." The next one says, "The amount of racists in this comments scares me. Like, mercy, it was only because of quotas." So this part here, the first part is blacked out, can't really say what it says. And they were just like, yeah, it's just, yeah, really. Then the next one says, "Leftist judges, political moment. Not that she isn't beautiful and doesn't deserve it. I believe in choosing contemporary ideals." The next comment says, "She's not even beautiful and she doesn't look like a miss. The contests have become a joke. What a shame. It's not about beauty anymore." Then we have this guy, Rafael Zucco, and he's asking, when he says, "Tivemos urnos eletrônicos no Miss São Paulo também." So he's asking, urnos eletrônicos are they're like digital voting boxes that you use to go cast a vote for an election. So basically he's asking, wow, did they use, electric ballot boxes here too? Did the girl get scammed out of her victory? In the picture here, this is the winner and this is the girl that came in second place. So he's questioned, did she lose votes because of some tampering in the electoral box? That's basically what he's asking. Other people weighed in. Here's another, what is it? Saudosista, okay? He says, "Miss São Paulo 2024 became a joke on the internet after presenting a candidate as the most beautiful woman in the state. In Cracolândia, there are several beautiful ones like this." Now, Cracolândia, it's a region in São Paulo where you find a lot of people who are crackheads. So that's why it's called Cracolândia. So basically they're saying you can find a lot of people that look like her in Cracolândia. That's kind of cruel thing to say. Milla Vieira is 33 years old and from São Bernardo do Campo. Although she won the contest, Miss Vieira has been the victim of mockery on social media. Internet users say that her crowning is purely the effect of uncontrolled militancy, since she wasn't really beautiful, and that there are many beautiful Black women in the state, but that wouldn't be her case, like she won because she's Black. Now, I will say, there are some times when a person takes a photo and, certain times a photo doesn't catch a person. You can catch a person from a bad angle and the picture can come out bad. They won't look the most attractive as they are. I definitely think this might be the case in this picture. just it's not her best picture, but when I looked at other pictures of her, I think this is a very attractive young lady. I didn't think she deserved the barrage of like hate that she was getting. But here's some more. Here's some more. Again, all of this is in the Portuguese. I just translated it here. She beautiful to be Miss. She is not. She really isn't physically beautiful, says another one. I thought it was a joke that this girl is really a miss. I think they're making fun of us all, of all of us human beings, by literally debauching and with this poor thing who has nothing of beauty for a beauty contest. I can't believe it. Another says, I'm really sad to see all these comments really ridiculing this girl, but whoever put her in this place to compete for Miss Universe is worse than all those who are judging her. And the judges, I don't know what they're thinking, because putting her through this humiliation is horrible. Hey, that's a deep comment, because what I'm saying is she's almost, the person who wrote this, it seems to be saying they should not have having they shouldn't have allowed her to be in this contest, because obviously she's not pretty enough to be here, and thus allowing her to compete, you put her in this place to be humiliated. That's what that comment seems to be saying. The next says, and if it was, we all always have a second chance, each one with their own beauty. Each one has to take care of their own life. She's not beautiful. There are many wonderful and beautiful Black women. This one isn't even close to the one I know. Next one. With all due respect to the winner, I'd like to know what the criteria were, because it wasn't beauty. We shouldn't denature the processes just to cater to militancy. Miss Brazil, Miss Universe requires all above all beauty, and unquestionable beauty in the eyes of all, even if it does not attract you, but you cannot deny such beauty. And unfortunately, this is not the case. Shameful. And but the last comment I'm gonna read here. People, go look at her profile. I found it very different from this photo that makes fun of the girl. Look how beautiful she is. I thought she was perfect. And that's the same thing that I kind of feel here. I don't think this is necessarily a great picture of her, but I do believe the other pictures show that she's actually quite an attractive young woman. I mean, I'm just looking at the pictures that I've seen and the ones that I've found online. I find her to be a very attractive young lady. I don't think that was the greatest picture. And that's what I think people were going on. But my question is, when I see other beauty contests or any other Black person who's won something, you always see the barrage of hateful comments like, the person looks like a maid, or she looks like a monkey, or whatever it might be. I didn't see that I'm not saying they didn't exist. I'm just saying out of the hundreds of comments that I saw, I didn't see anybody call her a monkey. So that's what gives me, which makes me want to question, are these people legitimately saying, no, I know that there are beautiful Black girls, she's just not one of them? Or is it a situation where people always have a European standard that no Black woman will ever be able to compete against? The comments weren't just over the top racist from what I saw. They were rejecting her as a beauty queen. Okay. I don't know. You can never really understand what the hearts and minds of people are saying. It's not always, and this is why when, the story went viral saying, okay, they're being racist with her. I'm like, okay, on the one hand, I can see what that might mean if people don't see Black women as being beautiful enough to be a Miss contest winner. On the other hand, maybe they honestly don't see her as being attractive. On the other hand, maybe they were just judging her from the one picture. Because if you judge her just from that one picture, I could see what they're saying, because I don't think that was her best picture. But the rest of the pictures that I've seen of her generally show her as an attractive young woman. And as I've said, historically, Brazil has always rejected seeing Black women win these beauty contests. This is a story I just did a couple, like back in March, revisiting when Black women won the Miss Brazil pageant 2 years in a row. Why did this bother so many people? Here was another one here. I forget what state this was from, but a woman saw this Black woman being crowned, and she says this business of social inclusion is effed up. So in this particular contest from 2021, Black girl was crowned, and somebody else said that this is because of, DEI politics. She should not have won. This is another affirmative action victory. Okay. So this is a huge discussion that's going on in Brazil. 2017 Miss Brazil contest winner says people didn't accept a Black woman as Miss Brazil. She says, I suffered a lot. People said she looked like a maid. Now you go figure, what does that mean? That means people associate maids with being Black women. Let me see what else okay, here's another one. She doesn't represent the Gaúcha woman who is white and beautiful, not Black. So this woman, a Gaúcha is a man or a woman from the southern state of Rio Grande do Sul, where something like 80% of the population, 85% of the population is considered white. So in this particular contest, they're saying a black girl is not supposed to win this contest when Gaúcha women are supposed to be blonde with, blonde hair with blue eyes. I want 5 black women in the top spots, which speaks to the fact that you're not going to win. You're not going to see many black women come in the top 5 of any beauty contest. Let's see what else. My clothes are only for white girls. 3 months before being crowned Miss Brazil, Mona Lisa Alcantara, she was prohibited from modeling a brand of clothing because the guy only wanted white women for his clothing brand. It goes on and on. As I said before, she has the face of a maid. She suffered verbal offenses, but this has nothing to do with race, right? Can't always say, but sometimes it's very clear. This was when Raíssa Santana won. She became the first black girl to win Miss Brazil in 2016 after 30 years. The previous winner had won in only 1986. As I said, there's been 3 black Miss Brazil winners in the 70-year history of the contest. This was 2016 when you had 6 black women in the final for the Miss Brazil competition. So as I'm saying, black women's experiences in these beauty contests has always been kind of, just left much to be desired because black women are not expected to win in these competitions. They're not expected to be more than a few faces in any competition. So this is why I'm bringing in this background to give it context. I'm not going to flat out say these people were being racist with the current Miss São Paulo. It is up for debate. It just depends on what the intent of the people were. Because some people clearly said, I understand that there are beautiful black women. I just don't see her as being one of them. And I said, if you judge her from that one picture, okay, I could say that's not her best picture, but all the other pictures I saw of Milla Vieira shows that she's a very attractive young woman. But then again, let's look at this. No, this is from, matter of fact, this article is from like 2 weeks ago, July 15, 2024. 83% of the models in advertising campaigns are still white people. So this is what my question would be. Brazil has always had a white standard. So if black people continue to be judged by the white standard and you have people who will never accept having more than a few black places in certain places, then this is going to be the reaction. If you're accustomed to just seeing white faces in 83% of advertising ads, that becomes the standard. And if a person is beyond that standard, she becomes, she's obviously going to be rejected by the society. Okay. These are just more of the same articles that I just shared already. So this is the context I wanted to put this in. So what do you guys think? Do you think people who insulted the new Miss São Paulo for 2024, were they being racist with her, or they honestly just didn't see her as attractive? Or is it a thing of they will never cede the idea that a black woman could overcome a white woman in a beauty contest? How did you all see this? Keep it in the context of the history of the rejection of black beauty in Brazil. Anyway, I want to know what you guys' thoughts are. Definitely drop a comment in the comment section. Like this video, share this video. So consider subscribing to the channel and clicking on the notification bell. With that said, I'm going to end this video here and request that you all come back. Check out the next video that I post.